Hello, everyone. Somebody on the internet was recently asking about where to stay in Los Angeles. And of course, there was all sorts of FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, being sprayed around about don't go near Los Angeles or don't park your RV, it'll get stolen and all that. That's not true. Los Angeles is one of the largest mega cities in the world. And so that means that you've got an endless amount of the best of things and an endless amount of the worst of things. So you'll find both in Los Angeles. But there are some great places to RV. I'm going to go ahead and tick off the top 6 places that I think you could take your RV to in Los Angeles and stay there comfortably. And I've stayed at each and every one of these places that I'm about to recommend. So number 6 is Castaic Lake RV Park in Castaic, California. It's just north of Santa Clarita, California. This is on the north edge of the LA area. It's a bit of a day drive into LA. I guess it'd probably take you about maybe an hour in traffic to get into the northern part of LA. This is a nice little park as far as being, I think it looks like a former KOA because it has one of those triangle offices, but it's just an average RV park, nothing too special. Castaic's a pretty dead little town. It's pretty much a town built for truck stops, but it has the basics of what you need, and it's a decent RV park. Number 5 is the Pomona KOA. So this is east of Los Angeles in Pomona, California, just at the start of what they call the Inland Empire. I might recommend this one as well if you're going to Disneyland and downtown Los Angeles. I mean, they're both, an hour plus drive away, especially during traffic, but you're sort of splitting the difference. It's a clean, nice park. It's got a pool. It does projected movies down by the pool for the kids in the evenings, like Disney movies and such. So it's a good little park. Every single space is a pull through. It's near the fairgrounds, so it's nothing really special as far as the neighborhood goes. It's sort of isolated, but it's a good park. Number 4 is the Hollywood RV Park in Van Nuys, California. Now, this is actually in the San Fernando Valley, so it's a little closer to LA. It's a very tightly packed park. It's a park mostly or predominantly made up of a lot of people who work in the film industry, a lot of single people, a lot of folks who are maybe transient or only in the LA area at times. So they'll stay here at this park. The park itself, again, is quaint, it's tight, has a good little community. The outside of the park area, it's pretty, working class San Fernando Valley. There's no gangs or anything in the neighborhood, but be a little street smart if you're going to walk around or walk to the nearest store. It's generally a drive-in, drive-out kind of place. But I definitely would recommend them if you're kind of open to an eclectic sort of park. One of the quirks about the park is since it's so tight, the spaces, of course, are very tight because it's urban, but also the laneways are tight in between the rows of spaces. So what they actually ask you to do is to unhook your trailer at the gate there or at the front by the office. Then they bring in a forklift with a ball on it, and they'll actually pick up and move your trailer into the spot. It's sort of a full service approach that they do. They'll also give you advice, kind of getting your sewer hooked up, making sure you get set up, help you level it. It's a nice little feature. The first time they did it, I was taken aback, like, hey buddy, why can't I just go park my trailer? But after going there a few times, I've come to really like the fact that they do that. And the management and owners there are just, a sweet set of folks. So again, I'd recommend this one, especially if you need to be going in and out of LA a lot. It's a lot more centrally located than a lot of these other choices. Number 3 is Bonelli Bluffs RV Park or RV Resort and Campground. This is in San Dimas, California. You might remember San Dimas from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's where the Circle K was. So San Dimas. It's also near the fairgrounds. It's also near a small airport, but it's up on the hill. So you can actually see at the top of the hill, you can see downtown Los Angeles. You can see over a lake there. You can see over the airport. The airport's actually below the hill, so it's kind of cool to watch and these are small planes, very small airport, but you can actually watch planes take off and land from above. So it's kind of a cool thing there. It's very nice and green, very, very laid out nicely. The top spaces, which are more expensive, higher in the hill, are simply a different caliber of camper than at the bottom where it's the cheapest, and you end up kind of getting some folks who are, you know what I always say, you get what you pay for when it comes to campsites. So I recommend you stay closer up on the hill towards the top. And this is a real nice park. Again, a good location if you're thinking of going to Los Angeles and Disneyland and you want to leave your RV in one spot for that whole time you're in LA. Next is the Malibu RV Park. So this is up in Malibu, again, a little bit outside of LA. So you got to spend an hour or so driving in, but it's a nice hour. It's beautiful. It's along the coast. The place itself is quite nice. The view of the ocean right there. You're near Malibu, which is kind of a high-end town. So you can get, good coffee and breakfast and all that. And it's an enjoyable area. I find the park itself is nothing special. I mean, it's just spaces, but it is on a bluff overlooking the water. And so, it's the Pacific Ocean. It's a pretty darn nice spot, and it's up there in Malibu. So that's my number 2 spot, especially since you get to camp right there looking at the ocean. And speaking of the ocean, the number 1 spot, which may not be number 1 for everybody, but it is for me, is Dockweiler State Beach, just outside of Venice, California. I think it's technically El Segundo. And the upside is you're literally on the beach. I mean, you can walk from the camping sites right onto the sand and right to the surf. You can't be more on the beach in Los Angeles than this. You're also centrally located in the west side of LA, so you can get anywhere on the west side within a short period of time. Even if you were going to go to Disneyland, this would be an okay spot. I mean, you're going to again spend an hour plus getting to Disneyland from here. But I just always love the fact that you're literally on the ocean, that you can hear the surf at night, and you can go out and do bonfires on the beach. They have it set up so they have rings specifically for the RV parks, especially, so you can just go out there and set up a bonfire. They have barbecue pits, and that's the rosy upside. But there's a couple of downsides, and that is you're literally right below the cliffs of the LAX runway. So there's a couple of runways on LAX, and one of them basically takes off over your head. So during the day and into the evening, you're going to hear some very loud planes. There's very few loud planes coming in at night. They set them up so that they don't really come in on those runways as much, or they're facing the direction, or they have to operate quietly, but you're still going to hear a couple of planes overnight. And I mean, like you're hanging out at the parking lot at the airport level of noise. So that part kind of sucks. You're also near one of the sewer plants they put there towards the end of the coast there near the ocean. That's, when I'm there for a week, there's always a couple of days for a couple of hours where the wind blows in the wrong direction, especially when it's an offshore breeze where you can smell the sewer, and that kind of sucks. It's not the first RV park I've been at that's been positioned in a place where you occasionally get the sewer plant winds. But, if you're there, you're probably not hanging out at your RV so much, and you're checking out all of LA. It is sort of unprotected, meaning, it's open to the public to be able to walk through there. But overall, I didn't really see any crime there, and they do have patrols driving around the small circle a lot. So it didn't seem too unsafe to me. And that part of Los Angeles, that part of El Segundo it's fine. There's no problems in that part of town. So that's the number 1 that I recommend is Dockweiler State Beach. It's sometimes hard to get a spot there because it's just so nice and so special. So good luck to you. Here's one last little bonus tip about LA. And this goes for any city. And again, it falls in the long line of elitist advice that I have. And that is, if you're not sure where to go in LA and you're not sure if this area is going to be nice, generally for any city, just pop onto Google, look up where all the check cashing facilities are. Wherever you see high concentrations of check cashing facilities, just have your guard up a little bit. The reality is most areas, even if they're a little funky, are going to be fine if you're popping in and out. If it looks sketchy where you're at, well, then don't go there. Leave. Go someplace else. Go with your gut. But generally, you're going to be fine in most places in LA that tourists are going. Have fun.